and we will be bringing up Harrison from DAM Finance next to talk about DAM and more broadly talking about bridging assets and using dPRIME for a reservoir in DeFi. How's it going, Harrison?
Hey, Nate. It's going well. Thanks for having me.
Good. Well, we're a couple minutes behind, so I won't take too much time, but I'll hand it over to you, and I'll pop back in a little bit.
Sounds good. Hi, everybody. My name is Harrison Comfort. I'm the co-founder of DAM Finance. DAM is an omni-chain stablecoin protocol that has really one objective, which is to securely bring liquidity from Ethereum to .sama. And our team is especially well positioned to address this problem, considering everyone on our team has built and delivered software for regulated financial institutions, including working on a number of the central bank digital currency projects that you've seen popping up globally. And we're also DeFi power users. So, I made my living for about 18 months, just yield farming, doing airdrops, and I've used a number of the borrowing solutions. So with that, we feel like we're especially well positioned to solve this problem. And the reason we are deploying on Moonbeam, in addition to just being very bullish on the .sama ecosystem and it being a great entry point to it, is really just the alignment on the cross-chain connected contract strategy and thesis. And really our goal is just to be securely bringing, billions in TVL to the ecosystem in a way that is composable and helps expand the pie for everybody. So we believe very much in a multi-chain world. I think you heard a number of reasons for why that exists from the previous panel, but from our perspective, blockchains are fundamentally asset issuance platforms, and people go to different chains to get exposure to different assets, get exposure to different products and services. And this is just reality. The issue is that for new chains that are starting or new ecosystems, a lack of stablecoin liquidity can really hurt network adoption because it just makes the flywheel of adoption really kind of hard to kind of get started. So first and foremost, it's kind of, if you're using a DEX, for example, and you're doing a trade of, for call it $50 and you're having material price impact, like that's not great in terms of market depth. So stablecoin liquidity really helps in that regard. And then also just in terms of having an opportunity to have a reserve asset in that ecosystem, or exposure to some sort of instrument that models a dollar. I don't think it's a coincidence that some of the most valuable smart contract platforms have a material amount of stablecoin issuance, whether that be Ethereum or otherwise. The other issue, which we will touch on later, and this is a problem that we're really seeking to solve with our Reservoir, is the fact that a lot of the existing general purpose solutions, frankly, have poor track records in terms of being able to securely transfer or move value across chain. So this is what we're really seeking to achieve in connection with the Reservoir primitive. And before talking about that, just to speak a little bit more about DAM. So really two key things that we want to highlight. The first is that we are extremely focused on composability. Partnerships are really a big part of what we're trying to do. We're not interested in being a left pocket, right pocket project. We want to be a way to securely bring liquidity and assets and users to the .sama ecosystem. So we're extremely interested in partnering with various projects. But we're also very focused on creating as much utility for our stablecoin as possible. So we're in conversations with a number of projects within the ecosystem, and we're excited upon launch. We should have a couple of good opportunities in terms of putting the DAM stablecoin to work. But just in terms of an architectural perspective, the way that it works is that to start, you would create our stablecoin, mint it on Ethereum. And to start with the collateralization profile, we're just using existing stablecoins. We've built our architecture so you can actually borrow our stablecoin using your portfolio of assets. So you can deposit a basket of assets to do that. But just given everything going on in the market, we don't think it's appropriate to introduce kind of a new risk model right now. And our advisor is a lady called Lily Frankus. She used to be the head of crypto at Moody's. So she's really helped us in terms of thinking through a number of risk models. And we look forward to introducing them incrementally. As a team, we're extremely focused on incremental delivery and focusing on solving, problems one at a time in a very good way. before we kind of move on. So that's just a general, value that we hold as a team. And from Ethereum, you move the stablecoin to Moonbeam. And we view Moonbeam as a nucleus for our architecture, because in addition to driving as much utility for our stablecoin on Moonbeam as possible, with the XC functionality on our stablecoin, we are looking to also drive utility for it across the Dotama ecosystem. So this is really just a sort of snapshot over DAM, and to really speak about the D Reservoir in terms of this primitive. So, first and foremost, happy to share, this is hot off the press. We've just successfully completed our smart contract audits. We were working with Halborn quite closely around this. And the architecture that we are actually introducing here comes directly from our experience working on a pair of CBDC projects for some of the central banks, specifically with regards to meeting their security requirements for interoperability between them. And I mean, at a high level, when you look at some of the existing, bridging solutions or traditional bridging solutions, for us, they really just didn't meet our requirements. We didn't feel comfortable with them. So we wanted to introduce a way to make it, very easy and scalable to move our stablecoin from Ethereum to Moonbeam. So first and foremost, rather than use a deposit and issuance of wrapped asset architecture, we use mint and burn. So the way that kind of works in the protocol is it's essentially an accounting adjustment. So we're going to show a demo in a little bit, but I like to think of it like an intra-bank transfer. So if you and I both have an account at the same bank, and I send funds to your balance, you would see a reduction in my balance and then sort of a simultaneous increase in your balance. It's just frankly an accounting adjustment in the protocol. And another thing, which was sort of alluded to in the prior panel, is we have built this primitive to be modular in the sense that we sit on top of a number of the cross-chain messaging protocols. And the reason for that is frankly for security reasons. In the event that any one of the underlying messaging protocols has an issue, there's an opportunity to fail over. So it really reduces our dependency on any one of those cross-chain messaging protocols. And the sort of final piece is a concept that we've built in connection with Reservoir, which is the Guardian. And the purpose of the Guardian is twofold. One, it is essentially to just detect activity specifically related to our stablecoin. So the D Reservoir is not a general purpose primitive. It's only focused on our stablecoin. And what it's doing is in sort of real time monitoring the mint and burn transactions. And at any point there is a discrepancy between mints and burns, the protocol immediately halts, and it provides an opportunity in the decentralized way for the community to evaluate what's taken place, to see whether or not there has been some sort of exploit. And again, this is coming from the perspective of wanting to ensure that our protocol remains solvent and secure. And we feel like this suite of security measures is really ideal for us. It's how we would look to move value to cross-chain. And we're really excited to be introducing this as a mechanism to move value through our stablecoin from Ethereum to Moonbeam. And in terms of milestones, we're going to have our testnet launch out as soon as possible. Ideally within the next couple of days. If you hop into our Discord, that'll be the best way to stay up to date around that. We also are, working on a number of community engagements. We're a new community. We like to have fun, in case you've seen any of our content. And really, we want to, be part of the solution. There's been a lot of, obviously not great developments in the market, and we want to be part of the builders in this community that are taking innovation forward and showing all of the great things associated with this space. And as we gear up for our mainnet launch, we'll be doing a lot more sort of public facing events. We really like having the opportunity to meet community members in person. So with that, we'll do a quick demo. So for now, you land here. Again, DAM is all around bringing TVL from Ethereum to Dotama through our stablecoin. dPRIME is the sort of working title of our stablecoin name. We'll be looking to potentially change that in connection with our mainnet launch. So that's to be determined. And there's fundamentally two types of functionality that I'd like to show. The first is just the actual creation of our stablecoin. So as I mentioned, to start, we're just doing a very simple one-for-one mint, so to speak, backed by existing stablecoins. So this one, you can track it directly on Goerli. If anyone's been using that, it can sometimes be a little slow. So hopefully we get some good luck in connection with this live demo. But again, working with Lily especially, we'll be looking to, expand the range of collateral that's supported, because, something that we're really passionate about is unlocking value and liquidity from, a whole range of assets. And that's one of the reasons, why we're so excited about Moonbeam and the Polkadot ecosystem, is because there's so many of these yield generating tokens. So we have successfully created some dPRIME. So the next thing that we need to do is teleport that from Goerli over to Moonbase. Now, the user experience associated with this is not perfect yet. This is the one thing that we are looking to improve before publicly putting this out onto testnet. So there's 3 steps. The first is you need to have that burn taking place on the Ethereum network. So that's what's taking place right here. So you'll be able to see that the teleportation of the 10 has been burned from Goerli. See, now we have 0. And right now the transaction is in place. So the one thing that we want to do is to essentially make the tracking better through this process. So right now it is, the actual message is being passed from Ethereum to Moonbeam in connection with the Guardian. And if we head over to Moonbase, in an ideal world, it should show up in the next couple of minutes. Again, the key thing that we really want to be introducing before we do our testnet is just really increasing the transparency into this process. To be frank, because a lot of these cross-chain messaging protocols are so new, a lot of them really just don't necessarily have the best kind of tracking in place. So we have to build something a little bit bespoke. And as we're waiting for the stablecoin to arrive, for the avoidance of doubt, this is a 2-way teleportation. So you deposit your assets on Ethereum, you create the stablecoin there, and then you would teleport it over to Moonbeam. And then, to the extent you ever wanted to teleport it back, of course, you can kind of go both ways. I would have loved to have shown you that capability now, but we just won't have time, just given it takes a bit of, can take a few minutes for the coordination to take place. And perfect, it worked. There you go. So now we have our dPRIME on Moonbase Alpha. And we can also see that here on our dashboard. So just quickly going back to the presentation. It's really been great to present this. Like I said, we're a new community. We're growing. Our team's been working on this full time since the beginning of July. So we're just now starting to kind of engage much more externally with different communities. Please follow us on Twitter at dam_finance. You can also scan these QR codes if that's easier. And for more information around our testnet, hop into our Telegram or our Discord, and we have a number of updates around that, including some of our Moonwalkers, access and community initiatives. So I think I finished a few minutes early, but we'll pause there if there's any questions or anything.
Yeah, let's see. Anybody's got questions in the chat, feel free to pop them in there, and we'll give it a second, see if anything kind of popped up. But I guess one thing I would ask would be, what other ecosystems do you plan to plug into? I know obviously you spoke a lot about Ethereum into Moonbeam. Are you planning to kind of roll out after that, or is there kind of a pecking order you're thinking about?
Yeah, so the thing with having a stablecoin, especially when it's new, is that it's really only something that folks want to use if there's utility. So for us, we would much rather develop a strong presence within, a smaller number of ecosystems than just kind of being all places, and trying to be all things to all people. Mm-hmm. So initially, we're extremely focused on the Moonbeam ecosystem. And the next sort of logical step for us would be, through some of these the XE capabilities, is looking to drive utility for our stablecoin and other parachains within the .sama ecosystem.
Gotcha. That's cool. I think that certainly we always think about, what other use cases when it comes to, getting other parachain assets into Moonbeam. Obviously, there are pools on DEXs, things like that, but how can they be utilized in different ways on Moonbeam? And I think that, Dan will be able to tap into that. Have you started some of those discussions with some of the other parachain teams? What are some of their thoughts around it?
Definitely. We've been speaking to a number of other parachains, and I think the narrative of having a native asset, like a native stablecoin to use in connection with stable swap pools. Also, we're a community, we're a decentralized protocol. So there is an opportunity to have agency in terms of, how and where utility manifests and how it grows. And I think the combination of those things has generally been very well received by other parachains. And what's been nice is that it feels very clear to us that Moonbeam is really a nucleus for a lot of this activity, whether it's assets coming to Moonbeam via the XCM, or potentially our stablecoin being used as an XE asset elsewhere.
Awesome, good stuff. I think someone brought it up on one of the panels earlier that after this week, I believe that everyone will be more and more respectful and more into DeFi moving forward. I mean, I just think that you just see that when a human element gets introduced to anything, or greed comes in, or who knows what the intentions were, that's where people get in trouble when bad things happen. And so being able to see things on chain, utilize things on chain, provide utility on chain, and the verify don't trust piece is going to be huge, I think, moving forward. So excited for you guys over the coming months, and we'll continue to try and help bring light into what DAM's up to, and really excited to continue to make connections in the eco and get you moving.
Thanks a lot, Nate. I really appreciated the opportunity to present, and I'm very much looking forward to Donnie's presentation now.
Absolutely. All right, cool. Thanks, Harrison.